Lily, and I am here with my series review of the Hathaways series by Lisa Kleypas. And this is a 5-book series, historical romance. So these books, they are a series, obviously I said that already, but they do kind of follow after the Wallflowers. Like, there's a lot of this in Lisa Kleypas, just like Lorraine Heath, where her books kind of interweave. So these take place chronologically after those books, and especially Lillian and Marcus from book 2 in the Wallflower series, It Happened One Autumn, show up in these series in the books because they live close to the Hathaways. Ooh, so real quick, they are in order. The first one is Mine Till Midnight, which I gave 5 stars. Seduce Me at Sunrise, which I gave 5 stars. Tempt Me at Twilight, which I gave 5 stars. Married by Morning, which I gave 5 stars. And Love in the Afternoon, which I gave 4 stars. So the synopsis for the series is that it follows a family, which is like one of my favorites. So it is 4 sisters and 1 brother, and they're the Hathaways, and they have lost their parents, and one of the sisters is like ill. She got scarlet fever and is like recovering from it, or like she has recovered but she's still not like 100%, and they think she never will be. And through a series of unfortunate events, basically, their brother Leo inherits a title, and it comes along with some land and society and all of those things, and they want like nothing to do with that. The Hathaways were raised in a very unconventional home. Their parents loved them, loved each other, believed in education and debate and just raising really good, well-rounded people. So they are all kind of seen as like unique and different, and they have to suddenly start navigating society. And like Leo, who is the brother, he lost like his true love during that same scarlet fever, and so he's kind of like drunk and just a hot mess. And it's just the family trying to take care of each other, but like figuring out this new world while figuring out each other. So the characters, I'm not going to go into detail about each and every one of them, because just looking at the main characters, you have 10. So you know, there's that. So the Hathaways are all unique, and they're unique in their own ways. So like Beatrix, who is the youngest Hathaway and the heroine in Love in the Afternoon, she loves animals, and she kind of collects them and like takes them in, and she really understands them. She's almost like she communicates with them. So people think she's a little weird. When the second sister is really sick, Amelia is really headstrong. So they're just all different and unique and super educated, which is awesome. So each of the love interests are really well developed, like the heroes and then the heroine for Leo. They're really well developed, and they're great complements for each other. Like the first one, Mine Till Midnight, Amelia is so in her head about having to take care of her family and everything, and Cam, who is the hero, kind of just like is a calming influence on her. So like there's this thing that she does where she like taps her foot, and he always like calls her Hummingbird because it sounds like Hummingbird, like, and he's like, calm down. So the romances, these are some of my favorites. I love this series. It's like my favorite romance series, I think. So the series is full of all different kinds of things. You have unrequited lovers, which I actually like in this series. You have friends to lovers, you have a marriage of convenience, you have like an enemies to lovers slash bickering storyline, which I'm a huge fan of, especially when done well. There's also a bunch of marriage and relationships across socioeconomic lines. And I think I've talked about this before in videos where I've talked about Lisa Kleypas, but this is something that she does a lot in her books. She's willing to address like a commoner marrying up, or like a part of the aristocracy marrying down. In this series in particular, you have these two books, Mine Till Midnight and Seduce Me at Sunrise. Both have heroes who are racially different. I use that loosely. They are definitely like tan, but they're gypsies, so they're like Romany gypsies, which is definitely seen as a lesser race specifically during this time period, although still to this day gypsies are kind of not everyone's favorite people in the world, but she addresses what it means to kind of marry outside of your people and what that's going to do for you in a relationship and for the people around you and how society will treat you and if you're willing to take that risk or not. So the family. The Hathaways are probably my favorite part of the series. It's such a good family. Now, they're not perfect, they don't get along all the time, but they are incredibly supportive of each other and are just always there. Like, they protect each other and will do anything and are willing to flout society's rules to take care of each other. And it's just beautiful to see nice, healthy relationships, and that was kind of instilled in them by their parents. While you don't even really meet their parents, you can see what an influence they were, and that's just not something you get to read a lot about. Usually characters have like dark past or their families are horrible, so it's nice to read a good, healthy family story. So since it is a series, I thought I would talk about some of my favorites. So I will say, because I have read I believe Love in the Afternoon, this is the only time I've reread it, so I've read it twice, whereas the other ones I have read a lot, particularly Seduce Me at Sunrise and Married by Morning. I have read so many times. When this series came out and when I started reading the series, the first 3 books were out, and then these 2 came out pretty quickly, and I remember dying for this one, because this one is like the book that you're like, I feel like you're set up to be like waiting for and looking for and rooting and getting all excited and everything. It also has like my catnip all over it, so it's not a surprise. But these were always 2 of my favorites, and actually Seduce Me at Sunrise I had written about in one of my like English classes. I had to do a paper and like a presentation with another girl in my class, and we decided to do it on romances, and I don't fully remember what I talked about. I think I talked about like how women have power in romances, and I had talked about this one and Seduce a Sinner by Elizabeth White. So this book actually has like some like highlighting annotations in it because I had done that for class. But now, upon a reread, I have to say, one, I liked Love in the Afternoon a lot better than I remembered liking it, but it's still my least favorite, and now it's a lot harder to decide which ones are my favorite. This storyline does a little less for me. It's like super angsty, and I'm just not quite as into that now, but I still definitely enjoy it. And I think my new favorite is Tempt Me at Twilight. I really like this story. I like the romance. I like how it develops. If you have read Marrying Winterborn by Lisa Kleypas, which is part of her new Ravenel series, then this might seem familiar to you. I feel like they're very similar in idea and overall concept. So of course, lastly is, would I recommend these books? And I would say absolutely, of course. These are just fantastic historical romances. Lisa Kleypas really can't do any wrong with historicals. I'm not a huge fan of some of her contemporaries, but her historicals are 2 thumbs up. And I think they are great reads for people who are already fans of like Tessa Dare or Lorraine Heath. I think she has kind of a similar style where things are a little serious, but they're not like over the top. That is my review-ish of the Hathaways series. I had so much fun rereading these and spending time with these characters again. Like, I just love them. They're like a family to me, and I'm glad to have them in my life again. And actually, I think I want to start doing this more regularly, because I did this with the Wallflowers and I did this with the Hathaways, and so I have decided I'm going to do this with another series. I'm going to reread over the next few months. It might take a little longer than that because it's a bigger series. A series that I read a while ago, and I have not reread the majority of the books in that series, and I've been kind of feeling the itch to do it, and I thought it would be fun to do a reread and then do a series review for you. And that is on probably a pretty classic early 2000s-ish historical romance series, and that is The Bridgertons by Julia Quinn. So I'm going to reread all 8 Bridgerton novels and then reread the Happily Ever After epilogues, I think. Hopefully by summer, I think I'm going to try and do like 2 books a month if I can. And hopefully by the summer, be able to have a series review up for you. So I'm really excited about that, just like I was excited to read these. If you have any comments, questions, book suggestions, anything like that, feel free to leave that down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!